Yeah. So, my name is Matias Faldbakken. I'm here to install in the 4 rooms, what do you call it, the clover rooms, pieces from Bert Kreuk's collection. Yeah, and I've been shuffling stuff around today, and now it's more or less all in place.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I come from an artist family. My dad is a writer and my mom is a ceramic artist. My mom was always good at making me draw, so I was a good drawer and she followed up that. I'm writing books, but that's more in spite of my dad's writing than because of it. When I started publishing my books, I decided to publish them under a pseudonym. So that's how complicated that was. You know, I didn't want my family name to be attached to his writing because it had very little to do with it. My writing is sort of in the headlines connected to my art, but my technique of writing and my technique of making art is very different. But there are some themes that are reoccurring. In my art, I use themes like I've been very much into ideas around extremist thought, ideas around vandalism, where sort of the vandalist and the productive act sort of meets. Like in many of my pieces, like in this one, the productive or the creative gesture and the destructive gesture is one and the same. I would say that very often my artistic gestures are in a way negative, in a way, or seemingly destructive. But that's also my way of producing. You know, that's my way of being a productive citizen. I was a happy drawer and painter until I started studying, and I was exposed for conceptual art and minimal art, and that made a huge impact on my work. I thought that kind of approach was very interesting. The minimal arts approach of trying to kind of ridding the object of content and just being left with the object as a physical presence, that's very interesting. And my sort of container works, like the jerry cans or this, harks back to that idea where the content is taken away, but the container itself is becoming the content. I don't know, if you bring stuff out like street art, you know, I've despised that kind of, you know, sort of public decoration, you know. I like the way the art space sort of deals with objects, and I also like a lot of the history of art. From, you know, of course I have related a lot to older painting, but you know, these kind of desperate initiatives from the beginning of the 20th century, like Dada going up through situationism, this kind of really desperate, negating, irrational sort of initiatives. They are hugely inspirational for me, and it's hard to imagine anywhere else where they could have been conceived in that sense than in the field of art. So also the potential for bringing out negative sentiments is unique for art, I think. Like my stuff, if you take it out on the street, I mean, you couldn't, you know, it wouldn't make much sense. But I like the fact that you can bring whatever into an art space, and it would gain some kind of discursive surplus, you know. I think that's positive, and I think this kind of that kind of awkwardness of the art space is what keeps me here. That it doesn't have an obvious function, it doesn't have an obvious entertainment quality, it doesn't have an obvious use, you know. It's foggy and strange and vague, and yeah, that's what I like to be, so here I am. Yes, I have a good tip. One of my favorite paintings is right up there. It's the René Magritte painting, situated right up there, called Reproduction Forbidden. It's a painting of a man, the back of a man, and he looks at himself in the mirror, and in the mirror the reflection is also his back. It's a beautiful, beautiful painting. I'm going to go and see it now myself, actually.